Welcome back to some more Umineko When They Cry. So where we last left off, apparently the so-called Beatrice, the antagonist, had a backstory within the prologue, and then it flashes back to her as to the present. Uh, and that was how, you know, she became the Endless Witch. And then now Battler is going through this endless torture by the seven purgatory sisters. So that's what's up. Now, as you can see here, it is saying in the dialogue there's Rudolph and Hideyoshi. So this is, I believe, Badler's family and George's family. I assume Jessica and Maria is there too on the boat. So there's that. That's just like in the first episode, but I'm pretty sure the dialogue will be different. Rudolph and Hideyoshi went out onto the deck and took out some cigarettes. Eva had always hated the smell of cigarettes, but when she was in a bad mood, she got even more sensitive to them. When they decided to smoke casually until they reached the island, the two of them had gotten yelled at and chased out onto the deck. Hideyoshi tried to use his lighter, but the strong wind gave him some trouble. Yeah, because you're outside. Rudolph took out a Zippo with a smooth gesture and let Hideyoshi follow the flame.
Hideyoshi 兄さんはいつ頃からタバコ？
戦後すぐや。最初はタバコを転がしとってな。自分の売り物に手をつけてしまったわけや。
Ain't you a charm?
じゃあ姉貴と会った時にはもう吸ってたわけだ。姉貴には随分やめろやめろと言われたでしょう。
Eva telling him smoking is bad for you.
わしが聞く耳持たんもんだから、あれももうすっかり諦めよった。やはり男は強情でなくてはあかんな。
I'm pretty sure I used to be a complete dick about it and be like, maybe you need to quit smoking, but I mean, I guess as of right now, I'm not going to tell everyone what they should do in their life. So, it is that. It is what it is. Hideyoshi laughed heartily, but Rudolph snickered. After being scolded by Eva, they'd escaped to the deck together with their tails between their legs. There was little doubt who had gotten her way in that exchange. Ain't that a comedic parting in the family? Like those two are good friends.
<sighs> 普段はそこまで短気じゃないんや。いや、普段はもっと温和なおとなしい女なんやで。
Yeah, why is she in a bad mood?
毎年毎年この日になると人が変わりよるんや。
そうなんですか？俺らがよく知る昔からの姉貴そのものに見えますがね。
Oh, you don't know what's going on with her head. Maybe we can get to see on Eva's backstory eventually. I mean, we already know what Rosa did going. Oh, but I'm pretty sure Eva could be worse. Maybe.
そうや。後ろ宮家のエヴァに戻るんや。でもそれはわしと一緒のエヴァとは違うんや。
Then again, Maybe Rudolph got some dirty laundry that he been holding up. The words.
まあカリカリする気持ちもわかります。
Then why she's grumpy?
今回の親族会議は面倒だ。
Oh gee, why am I not fucking surprised?
そうやな。クラウス兄さんから金を脅し取ろうっちゅう計画や。親族会議なんて名ばかりの、これはただの兄弟喧嘩や。
Family conference, my ass. Before the family conference, 3 of the siblings had made a secret pact without Kraus. They were all facing urgent situations and needed a lot of money fast. And the only one they could turn to was Kraus, who spoke for the Ushiromiya head, now that Kinzo spent his time shut up in his study. Like always. For a long time now, they vaguely sensed that Kraus was taking advantage of the fact that Kinzo had lost interest in his own wealth, and they suspected that he'd started embezzling that wealth to suit his own purposes. Despite being disgusted by this, they turned a blind eye to it while everything was still going smoothly for them. But now that they needed money, they really couldn't afford to let it slide. Eva had asked Rudolph and Rosa to form an alliance. They were now scheming to take that money away from Kraus.
わしも、そしてルドルフ君も社長や。社員の生活を背負っとる身や。
ローザも社長ですよ。
Wait, president of what?
ま、道楽ですね。
I didn't even know. I really gotta question it.
そうやな、失礼。つまり、わしらは誰もが背負うものを持っとるっちゅうことや。
俺も幹部連中の前で単価を切った以上、土下座しても、泥をすすってでも、金を引っ張ってこなきゃならない。
お互い様や。わしもわしを信じてついてきてくれた社員たちを裏切れん。それこそクラウス兄さんの首根っこを掴んででも金を引っ張り出さんといかんのや。
Grab him by the neck, like if Kraus is a sack of shit, like he's a sack of shit.
姉貴は昔っから兄貴とは犬猿だ。その兄貴と全面対決しなくちゃならねえんだから、そりゃカリカリもするだろうよ。
やっぱりエヴァはクラウス兄さんとは昔っから仲が悪かったんか？
本人話しませんか？そりゃもう盛大に。
昔の話は聞いても話してくれんのや。
I'm sure I want to know.
思い出したい話がないんやろな。
姉貴は昔っから容量も良くて頭が良かった。成績も良かった。それに比べ兄貴は盆栽だった。
Kraus is average. Oh my.
ただそばにいるだけでも十分にプレッシャーだったろうに。兄貴はわざわざそれを誇示して兄貴を追い詰めていた。
It won't surprise me that if Eva turns out to be a narcissist.
アホやな。 なんでそない敵外心むき出しで追い詰めるんや。そういうのは要領がいいとは言わん。
確かに。兄貴は女に生まれたことを悔やんでた。だから男というだけの理由で当主を継ぐことが決まっている兄貴が多分許せなかったんだ。
I bet whoever reads Umineko is probably gonna call it based. I'm like, damn, Kraus.
だからことあるごとに自分の方が優秀であると親父に誇示していたっけ。
I didn't know Eva was fighting for. I wouldn't be surprised if Eva be fighting for women's rights by now.
お父さんは古いタイプのお人や。男女には差別的な価値観を持っとった。自己顕示の強いエヴァは少々嫌われてたんとちゃうか。
Eva's, That's damn. That is crazy. No words from Rudolph.
女の学力は紅茶の砂糖にも似ていると思わないかね。ないのも味気ないが、過ぎれば紅茶の味わいを大いに損なう。
Since you can still drink black tea without sugar, he was in effect saying that there was no need for women to study. Those infuriating words were that Nissan hurled at me in my despair when I asked to go to college only to be denied by father. I protested that I needed to build up proper dignity and an education as the oldest daughter of the Ushiro family, making college an essential next step. But when it came down to it, father's and Nissan's answers were exactly the same. How conceited for a woman. I got it right. I've never taken the Ushiro name lightly, not once since I was born into it. I've been even more careful not to take my father's name, Ushiro lightly. Our family is an old one, with many traditions, but it lost its wealth and businesses in the Great Kanto earthquake, pushing it to the brink at one point. That was when father took control with his ingenious talent, reviving it to be even greater than it had been before. Not once did I forget that I was the daughter of that great Ushiro Kinzo. That's why I always made every effort to become worthy of that name. I needed dignity worthy of the Ushiro family, schooling, manners, and leadership. Even if I couldn't quite reach father's level, I deepened my knowledge in economics and finance, trying to improve myself so I could be of use to him at any time. However, in the end, father never acknowledged my efforts. To father, a woman was only meant to support a man, and nothing further than that was permissible. When was it that I came to understand that? It may have been as early as my childhood years, but I was going to have to wait until I grew up before I could truly accept it. Compared to me, you couldn't have said that Kraus, my older brother of 2 years, worked hard at all to become deserving of the Ushiro family name. He told me many times since my early childhood that he would naturally succeed father simply because he was born again. He kept on repeating that as though it formed an uncrossable gap between us. I couldn't stand it. Even though I always got better grades than Nissan, even though I became class president when he never managed more than vice president, even so, Nissan was considered to be the appropriate successor to the Ushiromiya family just because he was a man. Of course, you could find gender discrimination everywhere in those days. No, it was even considered a virtue in that era. During that despicable time, that is, people said that when a woman is born, she obeys her parents. When she gets married, she obeys her husband, and when she gets old, she obeys her children. But that was exactly why I wanted to turn that on its head. Innocently, I kept trying to prove that I was the most fit. However, I eventually realized that all of my efforts had been doomed from the beginning.
女の学力は紅茶の砂糖にも似ていると思わないかね。ないのも味気ないが、過ぎれば紅茶の味わいを大いに損なう。
それはどういう意味よ、兄さん。
男には男にしか務められないことがあるように、女とて女にしか務められないことがあるんじゃないかね。子を産み育て一家の主を支えるのは女でなければできぬ務めだと思うがね。
女には勉強や仕事をする必要がないと言いたいの？
そこまでは言わんよ。無学な女など話していても疲れるだけだ。だがあまり頭が良すぎる女はもっと疲れる。お前のように自己主張の激しい女では未来の夫もさぞや苦労すると思うのだがね。
A woman with a big ego? Is that what Kyle's trying to refer to?
女は結婚して夫の陰にいろとそう言いたいの？余計なお世話よ。
Doesn't surprise me of how Kraus treats Natsuki.
お前が親父殿を尊敬していて、その娘としてふさわしくありたいと思う気持ちは、我が妹ながら見上げたものだよ。私にも尊敬できることだ。
気持ち悪い。何が私よ。この間まで俺だったくせに。もう当主気取りなの？
当主は私が継ぐことに最初から決まっている。にもかかわらず、お前は自分も当主になれるかのように錯覚して、無駄かつ暴走した努力をしているに過ぎんのだよ。
暴走した努力ですって。私が大学院に進みたいと言い出すのがそんなにもおかしいっていうの？
ああ、おかしいね。お前は確かに栄光ある後宮家の長女だよ。やがてはその家紋を背負って父にとって最も価値ある相手と婚約することになるだろう。だがそこで求められるのは過剰な学識ではない。夫をいたわる優しい気持ちと家事能力、そして一家の長を立てる控えめな態度だ。お前にはそれが完全に欠落している。それは後宮家の令嬢として果たしてふさわしいことなのかね。
私は真相の令嬢のつもりなんかないわよ。お父様の仕事を手伝ってあげられる最高の人間でありたいと思っただけよ。
This is a sensitive topic that I cannot try to make, that I don't know how to put my thoughts about those two, about between the two.
ならそれは後ろ宮家令嬢としてふさわしくあるべきではないのかね。お前と来たらなんだね。いい年をしていまだに男勝りで、家事炊事はおろか男を喜ばせる化粧一つ身につけていないじゃないか。最近は喧嘩の稽古までしてると言うじゃないかね。
Learning how to brawl. I mean, there were some bit of hints in the first episode there. I mean, we tried to kick Rudolph in the face. So.
失礼な。喧嘩じゃないわよ。武道は心の修練に最適なのよ。それに、叱るべき場に出るときは十分女として気を使ってるわよ。何が言いたいのよ。女は男に仕える奴隷であれと、しゃしゃり出るなと、そう言いたいわけ？
それを認めるのはエレガントではないが、お前の勘違いを正すには少々毒のある言葉も必要かと思うよ。だから言い切ろう。女は男に仕えるために存在する。そして男は女を養うために存在する。女の仕事は男の背中を守り、家庭を守って子を育てることだ。それは本来言葉で気づかされることではない。おのずと気づくことだ。しかしお前はいくつになってもそれを自覚しなかったな。だから社会に出る前に兄である私がその誤解を解くのだよ。感謝してほしいものだね。
それは全ての女への侮辱よ。
Normally I would like jump the gun, but I don't know. This could be all a big ass misunderstanding between the two.
いえ、私は自分のことを女だと思ったことなどないし、女だからと甘えたことなど一度もない。私のどこが兄さんに劣っているというの？
To be fair, you did. I'm pretty sure somewhere you did brat you. You may have more better grades than Krause, but the one thing you can't let study upon is maintaining your ego.
成績も経歴も何もかも私の方が勝っていて、ただ男である以上の何も持たない兄さんが私の何を見下せるっていうのよ。
身の程をわきまえているか否かだよ。私は次の当主としての心構えを日々養っている。それは将来必ず必要になることだ。だがお前は違う。嫁ぎ後宮の席を失うことが決まっているくせに、見る必要のない幻を見ている。何がそんなに不満なんだ。仮に男に生まれようとも当主を継ぐのはお前ではないだろうに。お前は何がそんなにも不満で私に突っかかってくるのか。
何が不満かですって？兄さんはいつも自分は当主跡継ぎだからと私を見下して、そのくせ
What's my complaint, you say? I've got a billion of them. Grudges, hard feelings, humiliations that I'll never forget kept floating through the back of my mind. They all built up at the same time, coming out of my throat as a shameful moan.
何事か想像し。
I'm sure Rosa has some hidden grudge towards you, Eva, for how, according, and I am pretty. There was a part that explained this, so.
沈黙を尊ぶのは神だけではないぞ。
お父さん。
お父様
Enzo, he'd probably overheard our sibling fight. Father entered with a clearly unhappy face.
クラウス。また兄弟喧嘩か。お前にはなぜに弟や妹たちを率いる貫禄が宿らぬのか。情けない。長男が聞いては切れるぞ。
In a flash, he struck Krause's face. I readied myself to be struck in the same way, but I wasn't hit.
申し訳ありません。お父さん。
お前に足りぬのは貫禄だけではない。まだまだ足りぬ。何もかもが未熟だ。にもかかわらず一人前を気取っておる。それを語るには100年早いことを肝に銘じ、研鑽に努めよ。わしをこれ以上息子の不出来で嘆かせるでないぞ。
はい。お父さんの後を継ぐにふさわしい人間になれるよう、さらに努力します。
It was as if those words were directed him. Even when he was being yelled at by father, he was still bragging to me about how he was special, about how he was the successor. I just couldn't stand it and finally spoke what was on my mind. Even though I realized that it would be improper for a member of the Ushiromiya family to do such a thing.
お父様教えてください。私の何が劣っているというのですか？私はお父様の名に恥じない人間になれるよう今日まであらゆる勉強と努力を重ねてまいりました。どうか私にも何が劣っているのかお教えください。私はこれ以上何を身につけたならお父様に認めていただけるのですか？
またその話か。
Kenzo's like, man, I gotta explain this shit to you.
お前には何度言えばわかるのだ。
Ah, shit, here we go again.
お前に期待していることなど何もない。女は女らしく料理や裁縫を学んでおればいい。貴様には女の心構えがないのだ。夫に仕えようとする気心が男に尽くそうという海外しさが全く感じられぬ。何のための女なのか。後ろ宮家の令嬢であることを自覚しておるのか。なのに学びたがることは男の真似事ばかり。お前の役割はクラウスの真似事ではないのだぞ。お前には自らの役割が分かっているのか。
私は後ろ宮家の人間としてお父様の名に恥ずかしくない。
その時点でもう間違っておるわ。貴様の役割は家を出て嫁ぎ、わしにとって有益な男を連れてくることだ。そして夫に尽くし子を産み増やせ。夫の一族に褒めたたえられる良妻であれ。
That's the same thing that Krauss would say.
お前に男を喜ばせる何ができるというのか？茶の作法があるというのか？料理の才能があるというのか？何もない。お前がやっているのはみんなクラウスの真似事ばかりではないか。後宮家はクラウスが継ぐ。お前がそれに不満を唱えるというのなら、それはこの私に逆らうということだ。お前は我が娘でありながら父の言うことを聞けぬというのか。出て行け。感動だ。お前に後宮など語らせん。感動だ、感動だ。
お父さん、しっかり落ち着いてください。源氏さん、水を持ってきてもらえますか？
はい、ただいま。
エヴァ、席を外せ。本心ではないぞ。私がなだめておく。
感動だ。私の言うことが危険なら感動だ。
Man. Father was coughing pretty badly, and Nissan patted his back, as if it was a duty that was naturally his. It was so vexing for me to let him take that duty all for himself right then. If I carelessly approached Father at that moment, then I would probably be the one to get hit next. However, I fearlessly tried to approach Father's back. Genji blocked it.
エヴァ様、今は席をお外しになられた方が良いでしょう。親方様は今日はご機嫌がよくありません。
Genji just decided here is like, listen, I'm afraid you have to leave before things go bad.
なぜに私の息子たちはこうも不出来なのか。クラウスは貫禄が足りず、エヴァはいつまでたってもじゃじゃ馬だ。
That stubborn tomboy.
男らしい男はおらず、女らしい女もいない。私の育て方がいつどこでどう間違ったのか。
I don't know, Kinzo. I feel like the Ushiromiya family is always a whacked up entirety of the sort.
なぜだ源氏。私は何をいつどこでどう間違えたというのか。
親方様は何もお間違いになってはおりません。クラウス様はたくましいご子息に、エヴァ様は麗しいご令嬢に成長されました。
Genji out here shedding the light.
何もお間違いにはなっておりません。
You didn't make any mistake. Surely there is a bit of a misinterpretation.
あれのどこが麗しいというのか。淑女どころか男の真似事ばかり。感動だ、感動だ。
お父さん、それは私からよくエヴァに言い聞かせたところです。エヴァもこれからは心を入れ替えて レディーとして振る舞うと約束してくれました。どうかもう少しの猶予をいただけませんか。
何がレディーだ。うわ感動だ感動だ。
We'll take a shot every time he says disinherited. Go quickly and leave this to me. Kraus gave me a look telling me that. And it's just like that. What a complicated family. As I always say, just did I take the wrong path? Just like Father and Nissan said? True, I never studied how to be a lady. Everything I've learned was done in the hopes that I could help Father someday. But is that really true? Haven't I always been trying to compete with Nissan, with whom I've had a bad relationship since I was a young girl? Because I wanted to steal his position as successor and show him a thing or two? Every chance he gets, Nissan tells me that men should be manly and women should be womanly. We're going by the old-fashioned rules of the family heritage. I've been tormented by this unfair discrimination just because of my gender, something people are born with and can't do anything about. I resist endeavoring this very day to study and prove that I'm not inferior despite being a woman. But doesn't that mean my love of learning comes entirely from a stupid complex I've got against Nissan? Father wanted me to become a lady with whom I could go out in public and not be embarrassed. Did I betray his hopes, earning good grades and threatening Nissan just to satisfy a childhood resentment? You're quiet.
違うわ。私が後ろ宮家の跡継ぎになるんだって、あなたは私に誓ったわ。あんたは。
The one whispering to me was the me of my years as a young girl, born inside my heart on the day I made that oath. That's right. She was my only ally. When things got difficult, when I felt like I was about to get crushed by it all, she would always quietly appear and support me. When I ran into roadblocks and despaired, she would always appear and support me. This is strange. What's going on in... There's nothing going on in here. When I grew up in the memories of my childhood years faded, I also started to forget my conversation with her, quote unquote.
私、後宮エヴァは絶対に後宮家の当主になるの。
It's like Eva's having a conversation with her own conscience of herself.
そしてあのムカつく高慢ちきなクラウスを見返してやるの。そのために一緒に頑張ろうってあの日私たちは約束したわ。そうね、約束したわ。私は後宮家の当主跡継ぎになるってあの日にね。
On that day, when I had been overcome with sadness, wondering why I was even alive, you appeared from inside me and lent me your strength.
お父様に認められたかった。兄さんの鼻を明かしてやりたかった。そうすれば惨めな自分に決別ができると信じていたわ。
For a time, I truly believed that my life had no purpose other than to be looked down upon by Nissan. It's painful just remembering those days. There are wounds, a crack inside my heart. She taught me how to sew up that wound. I turned my anger into effort and improved myself, trying to become a person more worthy of the headship than Krause, trying to triumph over him by making father accept me. It was my perfect revenge. I was vaguely aware that a woman couldn't possibly become the family head, but I thought that maybe if I could prove myself valuable enough to overturn that premise, then surely even father would let me to be his successor. If that happened, I'd be able to have the greatest and most perfect revenge against Nissan, who always acted like his succession to the headship was completely inevitable.
うん。そうすれば私たちの心の傷は癒えるの。その日まで頑張ろうって誓い合ったわ。なのに、あなたはその約束を破るの？クズ。
Scum.
育児なし。へそかんで死んじゃえば？
Even though she looked like me as a kid, she was still another me. Her tongue was sharp because it was mine.
自分に言われても腹が立つわね。そこまでボロクソに言われる筋合いはないわ。
A disintegrate. A disin of her own self. Of her own younger self, that is. That's amusing.
ならばその怒りを勉強に費やしましょうよ。怒りを力に変えるのが私の魔法。この力で何度もあなたの窮地を救い、あなたはなせないはずのことを成し遂げてきた。私の魔法がある限り、あなたにできないことなどありはしないわ。そうね。怒りはいつも私の原動力だったわ。いつからそれを忘れてしまったのかしら。
Can you imagine having anger being part of your motivation?
私を思い出せたなら、あの魔法の力は再び私たちのもの。さあ、その怒りを力に変えて、もっともっと勉強に励みましょう。きっと私たちにはまだまだ勉強が足りないのよ。大学院に進んでもっといっぱい勉強して優れた成績を出してクラウスを追い詰めてやりましょう。あいつ何でもなさそうな顔してるけど、きっと心は相当追い詰められてるわ。早く身の程を思い知って死んじゃえばいいのに。
Oh my.
そうすれば私たちが当主になれる。ルドルフは辞退してくれるわ。あの子は私には逆らえないもの。よして。もうこれ以上勉強してもお父様は私を認めてくれないのよ。どうして？お父様は私に女らしくしろと言っているのよ。私がどれだけ頑張ろうと、女である限り、たとえ私が兄さんより先に生まれていたとしても、私に当主を譲ることはないのよ。私がどれだけ努力を重ねようとも、私は女以上の何者にもなれない。認められない。何の努力もしない兄さんを超えられない。永遠に見下され続ける。お父様もクラウスも最低の男尊主義者だわ。
Male supremacist? What the fuck kind of... Well, that's a little bit of an interesting is this one of the moments is this like some sort of identity politic to it?
ばいいのに。
Male superiority is wild. Again. Yeah, it seems like Eva is living with a curse that she can't become the successor because she's a woman. Apparently. She cursed them for my sake. Words that I couldn't say so easily, he said for me. Even though I understand that she's just another part of myself inside of me, I feel like she's the only ally I have who can sympathize with me. However, while sympathy might do a lot to calm my heart, it won't do anything to improve my current situation. In the end, it can only console me for however long it takes me to be dejected by reality before I finally accept it.
ありがとう。もう結構よ。こうとなったら、お父様が驚くような淑女になってやるわ。兄さんなんかとは比べ物にならない立派な男を探して。ダメ、そんなの。
No words. She rejected my timid thoughts. I understand. Because she is me. I understand.
お父様は少なくとも今は女に当主を継がせないと言っている。でもそれすらも所詮はお父様が決めたルールでしかないの。お父様が決めた以上、それを破棄できるのもお父様。
He can get rid of it if he wants to.
人の気持ちなど、浜のマサゴが尽きるよりはるかに早く変わるわ。クラウスが愚鈍な男であることは、私たちが立証しなくても、やがてお父様も理解する。その時、男女の境のくだらない垣根は、それを設けたお父様によって取り払われるの。その日は必ず来るわ。どうして必ずなんて言えるのよ。それが私の魔法だから。
Your magic.
あなたが信じてくれさえすれば、この魔法は必ず奇跡を呼ぶの。私の魔法の源は、あなたの信じる心だけ。
Well, I think this is a good place to end it from here. Let's see, right around here, I suppose. Yeah, this is a bit of a sophisticated, backstory when it comes to Eva. Because no matter how much Eva tried to impress her father always talk about this whole philosophy of how women work. There's that. Anyway, I'm about to end it from here. Next part. Let's see if we can continue more of this backstory of the such. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you guys later. Have a good one.